The only
Fight Fiend Forecast. I'm Joseph, the host, back for another full card prediction show. And last week, it was a rough week for me. 3 for 11 on the picks. That is terrible. Horrendous. I'm aware. Okay, I am completely aware that it was an off week for me. In hindsight, I probably should not have locked in Ikram Aliskerov or Sergei Pavlovich. Sergei, I didn't really see coming, but I had a feeling Ikram Aliskerov was taking a big step up in competition, and that was the riskiest play I was making. But no, Sergei Pavlovich could not get the job done. We're going to do a quick recap of last week. I have to see where I went wrong, learn from the losses, and look to get revenge on a big card in Las Vegas. International Fight Week. We don't have Conor McGregor fighting, but we got Payton, Alex Pereira, Jiri Prochazka 2, and it's going down in Las Vegas. International Fight Week. Like I said, there's tons of good fights on this card. The co-main event is a banger. Brian Ortega, Diego Lopes. So we got a bunch of good fights. I mean, it's not the best card, but we're going to make the most of it. We're going to get revenge. Last week, not only did Pavlovich and Ikram not win, Johnny Walker, Daniel Rodriguez. I switched over to D-Rod, and he did not get it done. Nemeth, I had 100% confidence in him. He did pretty good in the first 2 rounds. Third round, gave up a submission. Lost the fight. Look at the first 3 fights. What a mess. Brenton Ribeiro, the dog of the week, lost a decision. The road to the UFC, the pick that I chose, lost a split decision. And Kyun Ho Kang lost a split decision. I was on the wrong end of almost every single pick. Thankfully, Shara Bullet showed up, lock of the week. Rinya Fakhretdinov, lock of the week, got it done by split decision. It was a little bit sweaty. And same with Nasrat Hakparas. He made that sweaty against Jared Gordon. I know a lot of people probably thought Jared Gordon was the rightful play at the end of that scorecard, but the home cooking was definitely happening. Ozdemir, he just slept Johnny Walker. That was bad. Same with Robert Whittaker. In hindsight, I probably shouldn't have took the picks, but we're going to get revenge. We're going to completely forget that card even happened. We're going to learn from each and every loss. I know people are laughing at me here, and you can laugh all you want. It's good shit. I tried. Whatever.
This is not over.
Fight Fiend Forecast is here for UFC 303 full card prediction show, and we're going to start it off with the first fight of the night. Ricky Simón and Vinicius Oliveira. Oliveira, pretty new to the UFC. He just fought Bernardo Sopai in a fight that was pretty close for the first 2 rounds. He came back in the 3rd round, got the flying knee. He's vicious. Super vicious. He can find the knockout shot at any point in his fight with that power, but he gets hit. He's inaccurate, low volume at times. He's still kind of green. He's 20-3, and Ricky Simón is 20-5. Same amount of fights, but Vinicius hasn't fought the same caliber of competition. And I think that's what this fight comes down to. That is what the odds are saying here. Ricky Simón is the favorite. He just lost to Mario Batista, unanimous decision. He finished off strong, got a big takedown. His takedowns are relentless. He will go for them. Vinicius is unproven. I think he will get taken down at some point, controlled, possibly submitted. Ricky Simón at a favorite price tag is my pick. Vinicius Oliveira, though, he has power. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and say I'm going to count this guy out. He has no chance. He has a chance. He's a live dog. I'd play it by knockout or fight not to go the distance. It's clearly going to be him by knockout if he is going to cash in as a dog, but I don't see it happening. Ricky Simón has fought the much higher caliber guys. He is ready to go in this fight, get back in the win column, and I think the takedowns will occur with lots of control time leading to a submission. Not probably. It's likely going to happen. Bernardo Sopai wasn't that experienced. It's not that credible of a win. And if you look at his other wins, I mean, he's just coming off the Dana White Contender Series in a fight where he beat his opponent pretty dominantly, but still has some potential holes in his game. He lost 4 fights ago by knockout in the 3rd round to Ali Talib, who was undefeated, but at the same time isn't as high level as Ricky Simón. I'm trusting my boy Ricky Simón for the win here. As a favorite, I got to think the bookies are onto something here. He's clearly going to get the takedowns in this fight. If he doesn't, if he struggles to get the takedowns, Vinicius will be vicious and get that knockout shot. So that's why I'm low confidence on Ricky Simón. About 58 to 60% confidence in him to win. Either a submission. If he can't get the submission, though, honestly, I think he can get it done by a decision. But like I'm saying, he needs those takedowns, and he's going to need some control time. And the Vegas judges are going to have to score that. Hopefully Vinicius is sitting back with some low volume, looking for that big shot, and just is not able to find it. In that case, Ricky Simón, by a decision, would be a great play. He is my pick, but like I said, 58 to 60% confidence in him to win. Next up, this fight is about the same confidence level, but the price tag does not say the same thing. Tsuruya, undefeated. Carlos Hernandez, 9-3, just fought Tsuruya and got knocked out in the 2nd round. I mean, he should be the dog. He's probably not going to win, but 4-1 isn't that respectful. He has a chance, in my opinion. This guy is the best prospect from Japan. He has fought and beat a lot of guys on the Asian regional scene, but now that he's coming to the big leagues, I don't think I can trust him. And not at this price. He just beat a guy that was, I mean, what was he? I'm sure he had a good record, but the level of competition, like I said, it's on the Asian regional scene. I don't know how they're going to make out in the UFC. Ray looks good on the feet. He has submissions, but I have a feeling that the level of competition just does not match up. He beat guys that were 13-2, 9-1, 7-0. I mean, they're pretty high-level guys, but Asian regional scene, I can't trust it. He looks promising. He's undefeated, but he's my pick, and it's low confidence, right? I think it's going to be a decision. I don't even think he's going to get the finish. Carlos Hernandez is going to fight hard. He's going to fight for his contract, and he's probably going to lose a decision where he gets taken down, controlled, and dominated. A finish? I'm not going to bank on it. Parlay this guy up at 4-1. It's potentially going to be sweaty. So I don't think it's a high confidence pick for me. I'm moving on. I'm not too interested on these first couple fights, especially not a whole lot interested on betting the first couple fights at UFC 303. I'm looking at the main card, and I got some spots on the prelims. This spot here, in a heavyweight fight, 45 years old, Andrei Arlovski versus Martin Buday. This could be a spot. But for the 45-year-old, as a dog, I can't take him to win. This could be like sailing him off into the sunset, a big win by knockout, but he hasn't knocked out anybody. His last 2 wins come by split decision. Martin Buday looks like he's putting on muscle. He is putting on muscle. Looking into him during my research, he's looking yoked. He's getting in shape. He's training with Mick Parkin, Tom Aspinall, guys that have beat Arlovski. Tom Aspinall submitted Arlovski. Buday has a submission win on his record there pretty recently. So if he wants to get a finish, get that submission, I think it's potentially there. Buday could get the knockout. He's putting on some power. He's looking yoked, which isn't normal. He was looking pretty big there against Shamil Gaziev. Had a big gut, little guzzled up. In this fight, he's gassed up. He's ready to go, and I expect him to win as a favorite. Can you trust a 45-year-old who won 2 split decisions in his last 2 wins? You got to look at his last 3 fights. He's been Finished in 2 of them. I'm leaning the favorite to get the finish. Martin Buday. It's not a favorite that I have a ton of confidence in, but he's training with Tom Aspinall. He has to be giving him the game plan, the blueprint to get the win and sail Andrei Arlovski off into the sunset, rather if it's happy or if it's sad, because it don't matter. Martin Buday is the better fighter. He's motivated, ready to go. He lost his last fight too. So I'm not going to look at the last couple fights and be like, oh, Arlovski lost 3, he's motivated to win. But yeah, he is. He's training with some pretty big guys, that American top team. He could win this fight, but it would have to be by a decision. It'd have to be greasy, sloppy, and sweaty. And at 45 years old, I think he's going to be, for one, too slow. He's going to be sloppy. And the chin might not be there anymore. He might be the nail. He's not the hammer anymore. Arlovski had his time. The time's up, and it's going to be the last of him. He's the oldest fighter in the UFC. It is time for him to go. He's sloppy. He's slow. He is not the better fighter. He should not win this fight. If he does, it is 100% twisted for him to win. Favored, scripted for him to win. 100%. If Arlovski wins this fight, especially by knockout, it's scripted. It's scripted for sure. And next up, Michelle Waterson Gomez against Gillian Robertson, my Canadian. Let's go. She's going to finish off Waterson Gomez, another older fighter. This is a theme on this card here. The older fighter, the younger fighter. One fighter's ready to go. Waterson, I know she probably has a contract with a couple more fights left, but I really don't care. She is well past her prime. It's time for her to go as well. Like, jeepers creepers, you're keeping her around. There's other girls that deserve to be in the UFC. There has to be. This girl lost her last 4 fights. Look at Andrea Lee. She's now lost her last 5. I don't think Waterson Gomez has the motivation to get this done. She's going to get taken down. She's going to get submitted to a girl that is way better than her. Robertson just beat Polyana Viana by knockout. Viana was 13-6, mid-tier, but she submitted Pierre Rodriguez, who was undefeated 9-0. That was a big win. She had another big win to Agapova, an aggressive fighter, 10-3. Waterson Gomez, out of her last 4 losses, her last 4 fights, she just got knocked out. She lost a split decision to Luana Pinheiro. That was close, but she's going to need a rabbit out of the hat to do that in this fight. I don't see it happening. She also got submitted to Amanda Lemos. So Robertson definitely sees the path to victory on the ground. Waterson gets taken down. I think she will. And if she does, it's game over. Gillian Robertson for the win as a favorite. And probably the most confident favorite. Not the most confident favorite. One of the highest confident favorites I have on the entire card. You're looking for a favorite to parlay. You're looking for a favorite to lock in. I think she could be her. She's the girl from Canada, the savage, that's going to come to bang, be the aggressor, push forward, and get the win. Michelle Waterson Gomez, at 38, has nothing left. Nothing left in the tank. No motivation. 18-12. I mean, she had her go. She had a close fight with Luana Pinheiro. Split decision. There is a chance she can win a decision. It's women's MMA, but I'm not banking on it. Definitely not banking on it. I'd be banking on Payton Talbott. Biggest favorite on the entire card. Against Yanis Ghemmouri. Just got knocked out to William Gomis, who is not the caliber of fighter of Payton Talbott, the new prodigy of the UFC. This kid is going to go somewheres. Top 5, champion. There's no doubt that people have high expectations for him. I definitely see him having a high ceiling. against Yanis Ghemmouri. This is set up for Payton Talbott to go out there, do his thing, and maybe get his first ever first-round knockout. He's never had a fucking knockout in the first round. It's all in the second round. It's all in the third round. You're handing him a guy that just got knocked out, who hasn't been that active. I mean, this is a perfect fight for Payton Talbott to get another knockout and get it early. His first ever in the first round. He's going to get it. He could get a submission, but he has more knockout wins. So which round? Why not the first? He has never, ever had a first round KO. I'd be banking on that. First round KO, high confidence, Payton Talbott. Now, I have 2 picks on this card that are 100% confidence on the money line, though. Not for the prop. And it's obviously Payton Talbott. He's a 9-1 favorite. He's going to win. And he should cover his 9-1 price tag and win in the first round by knockout. I don't think very much of Yanis Ghemmouri. There's not much to explain. He's 29. He's low experienced. He's low output. He thinks he's a pretty boy in there. He just got knocked out to William Gomis, another guy that's pretty low output, in the third round, where you have to keep it together, fight hard to get the win. He couldn't do it. And now he's getting handed to the wolves against Payton Talbott. The future of the UFC. Real prodigy right here. Payton Talbott, I believe in him. I think he has a high ceiling, and he should finish in the first fucking round. Easy work. At this price, I can't talk about this fight any longer. Take that first round KO. If it doesn't hit, I'm sorry. I'm very sorry, but I think it will hit. That's how I plan to attack the bookies on this fight here. Do what you want. That's how I see it going down. Let me know in the comments, though, because we got forecasters commenting their most confident props at plus money, and they're putting hashtag forecast of the week each and every full card prediction show. The last couple cards, it's been Frank Bush giving his most confident prop at plus money, but we can switch it up. We can see a couple nominees this week, so put hashtag forecast of the week. Give your most confident prop at plus money, and let's smash these bookies. Because last week, we got fucking annihilated, and we need to get revenge. Next up, another Canadian against our Brazilians, and one that is fighting at the Fighting Nerds. João Silva, 12-2. He's looking pretty good. He's fighting some pretty low-level competition, though, and Charles Jourdain has fought the higher caliber guys. Now, Jourdain lost to Sean Woodson by a split decision. He's been in multiple fights that were close. I know he finished Ramos in the first round, but I know that's Ramos. He has been in very close fights. We can't forget about those losses to Shane Burgos, Nathaniel Wood. Those were like under 2 years ago. João Silva, he's aggressive, he's hungry, and he just has an attitude that, like, I don't want to bet against this guy. I know he just fought Weston Wilson, who's terrible. Before that, he beat Kelvin Valajos, undefeated by a decision. And he beat another guy 9-9 by knockout. Jourdain will be tough to finish, but he's like low output. He can't get the takedowns in this fight. I think he's getting outstruck. João Silva will be too aggressive, have too much volume, and he's going to win this fight by a decision. I'm going to use some reverse psychology in this fight. I've used it before. It's worked. Go against the Canadian, my fellow Canadian, and get the win. I'm going João Silva. Decision win. It's a 50-50 fight. It's priced 50-50, and I'm using reverse psychology. I'm going against Canada. In Toronto, at home, he couldn't beat Sean Woodson. He's not beating João Silva, new up-and-coming fighter, hungry, ambitious. He's a dog. He's more of a dog than Charles Jourdain, from what I've seen lately. Hate to do it, but I'm going to do it. João Silva, decision win, low confidence. And next up on the prelims, we got Cub Swanson, Andrei Fili, and this is the first dog, big underdog, I'm going to take. I'm going Cub Swanson. Decision win, potential KO, it doesn't matter. At this price tag, take him to win. He's 40 years old, but he does have the experience. He won his last fight. He's not a guy that's ready to retire, unlike Michelle Waterson Gomez, Arlovski. This 40-year-old is ready to stick around for a bit. He just beat Hakeem Dawodu, my fellow Canadian. Beat him cleanly, unanimous decision. He looked good. Especially for 40 years old, he looked good. He does have a 4-inch reach disadvantage, which is not the best in this fight. But Fili just got knocked out to Dan Iggy. He got knocked out to Anderson Brito, both in the first round. And he lost to Nathaniel Wood, unanimous decision as well. His win, Lucas Almeida, big KO, and Bill Algeo, split decision. You look at Cub Swanson, other than that big win to Hakeem Dawodu, he's been a little chinny. He's been knocked out as well. He got knocked out to Jonathan Martinez, but it was leg kicks, not to the chin. And Giga caught him. First round, body kick, ground and pound. But Giga is a lot higher level than Andrei Fili, in my opinion. Cub Swanson dusted Darren Elkins. He dusted Daniel Pineda. He dusted Kron Gracie. And he looked pretty good in his last fight. But here's one thing that worries me. Both these fighters are win-loss in their last 5, 6, 7 fights. Andrei Fili is due for the win. Cub Swanson is due for the loss. Now, I think the trend ends here. The underdog cashes in. Cub Swanson, with the experience, the confidence, gets it done. I love the price tag. I think he has wrestling, and in my opinion, he has a better skill set. He's going to win this fight. It's pretty high confidence. I can't trust Andrei Fili or his chin. He has a big reach advantage. It could help him. He's quick, he's sharp, but Cub Swanson, in my opinion, is better. And at this price, I'm taking the dog shot here, and I'm going to look to get paid. If you're with me, let's go. Cub Swanson has been around for a while. He will fight for your money. And another secret, too, Andrei Fili was getting beaten down by Daniel Pineda, who Cub Swanson finished. Pineda, in that fight, might have had an accidental eye poke. It was a no contest, but Fili was getting touched up. He wasn't looking good on the feet. I think Cub Swanson will be the better striker as well. The better striker, the better wrestler. It has to be high confidence for the dog for me. You're looking for the dog of the week? Cub Swanson is the dog of the week at UFC 303. Lock it the fuck in. Next up, Fight Fiends are ready to go. They're looking for revenge on this card. And we got the Rising Suns prospect, Joe Pyfer, back in action against Marc-Andre Barriault. Reverse psychology once again. It's gonna work. Charles Jourdain, can't trust him. Marc-Andre Barriault, can't trust him, man. He's tough. Can't trust him. Can't trust the guy. He lost a split decision to Chris Curtis. Joe Pyfer is a prospect on the rise. Rising Sun. This is a matchup where they favor him to get the win after a fight that he lost to Jack Hermanson, unanimous decision, 5-rounder. He's going to learn from it, and he's going to get revenge. Marc-Andre Barriault, he's lost before. He's been in the promotion for a bit. He's 34. He's a little bit older in this fight. He's slowing down, and he's probably not as motivated as Joe Pyfer to get a win back on his record there. If you know what I'm saying. So, I think Marc-Andre is tough. He is durable. He's hard to break down, but I can't trust him to fight for my money. To bring me that bank. I think Joe Pyfer is ready for International Fight Week. He's coming to bang. He might get a finish, but he might win a decision. Either way, He's a high confidence pick, and I think he's winning over 90% rate here against Marc-Andre Barriault, who's slowing down. He's my Canadian. I don't want to go against him, but reverse psychology. It should work. Joe Pyfer is probably set up here to get the win. If it's not impressive fashion, he'll dominate a decision. Either way, a fantastic finish, a dominant decision. At this price, I'm locking in Joe Pyfer. I'm getting paid, and I'm looking for another leg or two to add on to the locks of the week. I'm not taking Robertson as a lock. She's a high confidence pick. She's going to be on the parlays, but I can't make her a lock. Payton Talbott, biggest favorite on the card. Can't make him a lock. All right, so other than that, there's no other fights that I could call a lock. I got Joe Pyfer locked in. I got Cub Swanson as dog of the week. And we're moving on to the next fight at UFC 303 International Fight Week. Mayra Bueno Silva, Macy Chiasson. I know the underdogs are going to be having some money come in, but I think they have no fucking chance. No sweet chance. If I had a Bueno bar right now, I'd eat it up. They're so tasty. And seeing Mayra Bueno Silva at a price tag that's respectful, I'd parlay her up with Gillian Robertson, with a couple other favorites on this card, because a parlay parfait this week should pay. Mayra Bueno Silva, she's going to be sweet in this fight. She's going to do what you want, right? She's going to get the takedown. She's going to get a potential submission, and she's going to dominate Macy Chiasson. I don't think we should sweat this one. Bueno Silva just fought for the belt. She lost, but she fought hard. She should be motivated to come back here, get a win, and potentially fight for that belt once again. Miss Macy Chiasson, on the other hand, here has fought and beat Pannie Kianzad in her last bout there, who is a big undefeated fighter. Just kidding, she's 16-7. So she's fighting a little bit lower caliber fighters. She lost before that to Irene Aldana with an up kick to the head. She won before that to Norma Dumont, split decision. She lost before that, Raquel Pennington, submission, guillotine. So there's kind of a trend here. Win, loss, win, loss. She's due for the loss. Bueno Silva lost to the new champion, Raquel Pennington, by a decision. But before that, she submitted Holly Holm in the second round. Submitted Lena Landsberg in the first with a knee bar. Submitted Stephanie Edgar with an armbar in the first. And submitted Yanan Wu. No, she didn't. She got her by a decision, but Yanan Wu, 13-4. All those girls pretty high level. Some of them arguably better than Macy. I think Bueno Silva should fly in this fight. Get the win. Look sweet. If I had a Bueno Silva bar, I'd eat it right up. This girl here, she could be a lock. Robertson could be a lock. But I can't do it. I'm not taking a women's fighter as a lock. Carly Judas, she cursed me. I'm not going to do that, but I trust both these fighters, both these favorites, to win. These underdogs will have money come in, but I don't think it's right. I won't agree with it, and I don't advise you to look that way. Take the women's favorites this week. Take them to win, both by a submission. Submission special is coming through, and it's going to be sweet. And next up, we got Ian Garry, Michael Venom Page. And this fight is 50-50. It is a banger. But Ian Garry is 11 years younger. He should be faster, have a better fight IQ, get some volume. Unlike Kevin Holland. Holland landed 20 strikes. Ian Garry should land near 100 in 15 minutes. If he can't, he's obviously not who he thinks he is. He's one of the most confident fighters I've ever seen. He talks like it. He acts like it. He performs like it too. So he walks the talk. I think he's going to win this fight pretty easily by a decision. Michael Venom Page is tough to hit. He's in and out. He could be knocked out because his hands are low all the time. But at 37, I don't think he has the highest volume. He's tough to hit, but if he does get hit, he's going to lose the decision. I have to trust the younger, more hungry fighter, undefeated, to keep that record alive. That goose egg is going to stay alive. It's not getting cracked by the venom. I know Michael Venom Page looked great against Kevin Holland. He looked pretty good in his debut, but Ian Garry is another level. A completely different level. He had some moments against Jeff Neal that cost him a split decision. He looked sketchy in other fights. Keenan Song, he got dropped, but I got to trust him. He's going to continue to improve at 26, and he's just going to get better. I don't think he's going to drop this fight. There is a point where I want to fade Ian Garry, but is this a point, like, the odds suggest that? Tapology suggests that. They think Michael Venom Page is super live. He's likely going to win, but no. Ian Garry should have some money come back in on him. He should be the slight favorite. He is the slight favorite. It's correct. I believe in him, and I think he's getting it done. It's going to be close. It's going to be probably a split decision, but I still think it's going to be Ian Garry's name that gets read at the end of this fight. So no matter how hard it is to hit Michael Venom Page, and no matter how much you hate Ian Garry, I think we got to go Ian Garry. He talks a lot, but he walks the talk. Each and every fight, he's had a couple moments that's been sketchy, but he's pulled through. He's got the win, and he can battle through adversity. So it's not like he's just had an easy run his whole way. I think this is a fight where I can trust him to win. At 90% confidence, I'm taking Ian Garry to win this fight on the money line. He's going to get it done here. Michael Venom Page is very entertaining to watch. I understand the money coming in, but I don't know. I'm not taking him this week. I'm trusting the instinct. I'm trusting the Ireland boy, Ian Garry, to get the win here. And next up, not the co-main event, but this fight was, flipped, flopped, skedaddled, fladaddled. What a mess this card potentially got turned into. After last week, this week is going down the same rabbit hole. Let's talk about it for a minute. Jamal Hill, Khalil Roundtree. Roundtree had some supplements in his system after a drug test. That fight is no longer happening. So Jamal Hill got put with Carlos Ulberg. Ulberg was good to go, and then Jamal Hill hurt his knee. And then Ulberg withdrew from Anthony Smith. So then Roman Dolidze stepped in. Here we are. Like, after all that, we got a 35-year-old against a 35-year-old throwing down with a 76-inch reach against a 76-inch reach. One guy has way more experience, though, Anthony Smith. And he's had more damage, too. I feel like he's slowing down more than Roman Dolidze. Dolidze has so much more in the tank for 35 than Anthony Smith at 35. And that's a factor in this fight that makes Roman the favorite. And it makes him my pick. I don't know what you think. Anthony Smith, Lionheart, I trusted him. But his last win, that was it. First round submission, good win, big moment for him. He got knocked out to Khalil Roundtree. He got finished before. He lost to Johnny Walker. How good does that look after last week? Horrible. So, I'm not taking Anthony Smith. I'm not thinking about it. Roman Dolidze had a majority decision loss, 5 rounds. Nasruddin Imavov, who looked really good against Jared Cannonier. Really good. I think Dolidze can bounce back. I think he can look fresher, have a little bit more cardio, have some takedowns, potentially look for a finish, a knockout, and get the win here. I think he's the rightful favorite. The bookies are sharp, and they know that Anthony Smith should not be the favorite in this fight. I agree. He had his moment in his last fight. I don't think this is Anthony Smith's time to shine. At 35, he's had a lot of damage. A lot. It's hard to trust him. He's had 2 wins in his last 5 fights. His other win was to Ryan Spann. It was a split decision. I don't even know if he won that fight. Before that, he lost to Johnny Walker and he lost to Magomed Ankalaev by KO. He got KO'd to Roundtree. Dolidze has multiple knockouts on his record. He knocked out the last 3 guys that he beat. Jack Hermanson, the back control there was phenomenal. If he has that in this fight, I'd want to be betting on Dolidze. And you look at the other 2, Phil Haas got slept. But look at Ikram. He fucking slept Phil Haas, so we can't hold too much value there in a Phil Haas win. That's for sure. Kyle Dacus, he was slept as well. Can't hold too much value in a Kyle Dacus win, can we? I mean, it could be a close fight. Do what you want. Do what your gut is telling you to do. Whatever your belly's telling you to do. Big old gut will lead you the right way. Make a good pick. And get you paid. I'm going Roman Dolidze. That's what my gut's telling me to do. And I'm going to go for it. Here we go. We got the co-main event. A scrap between Brian Ortega, Diego Lopes, and this is a fight that's low confidence because it's hard for me to forecast. Diego has been my pick the last couple fights. I've been riding the Diego Lopes train. So with that being said, I can't jump off now. I'd be dumb to. Wouldn't I? Would I? I don't know. Brian Ortega, in his last fight, got the submission to Yair Rodriguez. Had some very low output in that fight, though. He wasn't landing much on the feet. He's looking for the takedowns. He's looking for those big moments on the ground to get a submission. But Diego Lopes has very good submissions of his own. He has good submission defense. He has good takedown defense. So this fight will stay on the feet. Diego Lopes should take advantage there, get the knockout if he can, but I don't think he can. Brian Ortega is tough. He's durable. He's fought with Volkanovski 5 rounds. He's fought 4 rounds with Max Holloway. We can't forget about that. We can't forget or discredit Brian Ortega. But we can take Diego Lopes to win. And we can take him by a decision. It's definitely doable. Diego Lopes is definitely live for a KO. Whatever the circumstance may be, I think he will be my pick. With low confidence, I think it's 60%, 57, 58%. He gets it done here against a very high-level fighter, Brian Ortega. Credit to him. He's very good. He's very durable. But Yair Rodriguez in that fight was doing more on the feet. I think Diego Lopes is hungry and ready to go. The emo kid has what it takes. That's the secret. Go emo and you can go a long way. So maybe I'm going to change up my style and get all freaky on yous.
Levels to this fucking game.
And next up we got the main event of the evening. The second fight between Alex Pereira, Payton, and Jiri Prochazka. Wow, it's happening again already. We get these rematches when we least expect it. When we really don't want it either, right? So we're going to get it. We're going to get an Alex Pereira win, probably by KO, and I would have to think it's going to come early. Whenever Jiri Prochazka wants to exchange. So if it's the first round, right out of the gate, Pereira counters and sets him on his ass, finishes the job, finishes off the rivalry. This is not a competitive one like the Adesanya rivalry. This is going to be short, sweet, and simple. Alex Pereira, counter shot, finishes the job here. He has the power. He has the striking accuracy, precision. He is an absolute technician on the feet. Jiri Prochazka's wild. He's going to need a crazy, wild shot, looping shot that lands. And I don't see it happening. If you look at Pereira's last fight that he lost, it was to Israel Adesanya. It was by a knockout, but it was at 185. This is at 205. He has way more weight on. He's not cutting the weight. He's not having a tough weight cut. This is a different fight completely than that fight with Israel Adesanya. Do not compare that knockout loss with this fight whatsoever. Pereira at 205 is a specimen, and I don't see him losing. If anybody can beat him, it's going to be impressive as hell, because I think he will be the champion and retire the champion. At 36, I don't know how many more fights he has left, but he's going to beat Jiri Prochazka. He's going to make it dominant, and he will continue off into the sunset. You look at the Jamal Hill fight, where Jamal Hill wasn't really ready. Jamal Hill went out there and said, you know what, I'm going for it, first round, and he got countered and he got smoked. So if Jiri Prochazka wants to exchange in the first round, I think the same thing will happen. If he waits to the second round, they'd be very calculated, exchange shots, and get reads in the first, and then he just goes for it in the second. He'll get countered in the second and get finished. If it's the third, fourth, or fifth, that is when the knockout will occur. I'm going to forecast the very first round after how many decisions did I forecast before that, right? So Lopes decision, Dolidze decision, Garry decision, Bueno Silva submission. So yeah, you're looking at a first round knockout, second round knockout, Alex Pereira to finish the card off in a rematch fight where he already lit up Jiri Prochazka in the second round. Probably made it a statement that they didn't need a rematch, but we're getting it anyways. It's going to be entertaining. Prochazka has a ton of finishes, but he needs a rabbit out of the hat. And he is a wild man. If there's anyone to do it, it could be him. But in my opinion, in my very strong opinion, 100% confidence, I think Alex Pereira is the guy for quite some time. I don't see anybody coming to beat him anytime soon. At 36, with 2-3 fights left, Alex Pereira is going to retire the champion. That's my forecast. He's going to make this dominant. Jiri Prochazka has to be wild, and he just can't get lucky enough to land the shot. He's going to get unlucky, he's going to get countered, and he's going to get slept. Once again, the rivalry is going to be short, sweet, and simple. It's going to be over. It's nothing like the Israel Adesanya rivalry. Alex Potan Pereira is going to be a dominant champion, and he already is. He's already proven it. So if you're going against him, I don't know why. I don't know what you're thinking, but I could be wrong. Last week I had 3 picks right. Hope to God on this card here, UFC 303, we don't have 3 picks right. All right? I'm bouncing back. I'm getting revenge. And Jiri Prochazka is not. Lock in Alex Pereira this week. He is one of my locks at UFC 303 International Fight Week. If you have a very confident prop on this card, your most confident one, let me know in the comments below. Put hashtag forecast of the week. I'm going to choose one. I'm going to put money down on one. And I'll let you know on the Props and Parlay show Friday, Thursday night, who the forecast of the week is, who I'm riding with. And I'll make a short video up on TikTok, Instagram. It's time for me to get back on track, start making up some more content, short videos, and start chasing down these bookies. I got a couple underdogs. I got a bunch of high confidence picks on this card, and I'm cooking. 3 picks right last week is not acceptable. I'm pissed off, and I'm ready to go. I'm getting revenge. Rather if you like it or not, rather if the bookies like it or not, I'm coming for a big win at International Fight Week in Las Vegas. Let's go. Fight fiends and forecasters, please smash the like button before you go. Suplex the subscribe button, and we'll see you soon. We got a Props and Parlay show coming right up.
This is not over.